On the news at 1, FCT Women Affairs mandate Secretariat to partner with NTA Channel 5 Abuja. Security check, preparations ahead of forthcoming Eid al-Fitr celebrations. And World Autism Day, non-governmental organization advocates support of all and sundry for the condition. A very good afternoon to you. Thank you for joining us on the news desk of NTA Channel 5, Abuja. My name is Tessie Omeri. We thank you for joining us. President Bola Tinubu and Chairman of ECOWAS Authority of Heads of States and Governments was part of the special guests as Bassirou Faye took oath of office as the 5th President of the Senegal. State House correspondent Musbau Dangwahab has more.
From near obscurity, Bassirou Diomaye Faye emerged with the victory of David over Goliath in the March 24 presidential election in Senegal. The 44-year-old trained lawyer and former tax inspector who spent a few days short of a year in detention is now popular for joining the league of leaders who broke free from prison to presidency. Senegal further adds to its profile of democratic resilience with new record of the youngest president on the continent. President Bola Tinubu was among other leaders who witnessed as the West African country made yet another history in its democratic journey. The ECOWAS chairman heartily congratulated his newest member, but further discussions would be reserved for another day.
Je réaffirme l'engagement du Sénégal.
Much expectations, but Faye says top on his priority list are to embark on national reconciliation, build institutions, reduce cost of living, and inclusive sectorial consultations. The African youngest president also promised to fight corruption and poverty amongst his people. Ousmane Sonko had led the struggle for the emergence of an opposition party since 2014, but it is his ally Bassirou Diomaye Faye who got the ultimate prize. The new man from Western Dakar now has the years ahead to prove what a youth can do as a leader in Africa. From Dakar, Musbau and Wahab, NT News.
Minister of the Federal Capital Board National Budget being assented to by President Bola Tinubu, more infrastructure will be provided to the teeming residents of the territory. The minister made this disclosure during a media chat with some selected journalists in his office in Abuja. Onoze Yakubu monitored the live telecast and now reports.
Aside from the 19 schools flag off at Gifted School in Gwagwalada to wear a new look in the FCT, additional 21 schools cutting across the 6 area councils will also be rehabilitated. FCT Minister Yeson Wike discloses that this cheering news is coming against the backdrop of the President's assent to the 2024 national budget, saying that more dividends of democracy will be provided in the areas of healthcare delivery, transportation, and other sectors of the economy.
I said, look, what the people want is that whether you divert traffic for 1 month or not, isn't material to them. But at the end of the day, will the job be done? And go and see the amount of work. And they have promised that it will be handed over in May.
The minister, however, identified some of the ongoing projects that will be delivered during the president's 1 year in office, to include the southern and northern parkways, the B6 and B12 routes in Jahi district, and the vice president official residence, as well as the Abuja metro line, which he discloses that work has reached 95% stages of completion.
I've identified the metro line. I also identified all the access roads to the stations. We have about 5-6 access roads from communities to these stations. All will be ready.
Yeson Wike further reveals that a special task force will be constituted to combat banditry and other security challenges, while emphasizing that it will no longer be business as usual on land matters in the FCT. He, however, pledges to provide enabling environment to willing investors to ensure their businesses thrive in the FCT. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
The FCT Women Affairs Secretariat solicited partnership with the Nigerian Television Authority NTA Channel 5, Abuja, with a view to projecting voices of women, girls, and the vulnerable in the territory towards achieving the goals of the renewed hope agenda of the First Lady. This came to fore when the Mandate Secretary, Adebayo Benjamin Slani, and Permanent Secretary visited the management of the station. Hawagimba has more.
On her familiarization visit to NTA Channel 5 Abuja, FCT Women Affairs Mandate Secretary Adebayo Benjamin Slani highlights the renewed hope agenda of Nigeria's First Lady, which include addressing a wide range of social and environmental problems such as poverty, inequality, and creating jobs and economic opportunities for low-income earners, as well as providing quality of life for people. The initiative is to also provide health care, education, and empowerment for women in the 6 area councils of the FCT.
If we were to say it is better life for all rural families, all families. First Lady saying, what we're also saying is that many more Nigerians just like this can support leadership.
Permanent Secretary, Mandate Secretariat Adetoyi Rabiu Kolawole says giving voice to the people in the FCT, especially the 6 area council, is in line with the present administration's renewed hope agenda.
These are programs that are going to bring succor to the women in FCT, and with our Mandate Secretary, who is very vibrant. I believe, just like what you said, the sky may not even be our limit. It may even be our starting point.
Responding, the General Manager, NTA Channel 5 Abuja, Paul Arte, says the station is for the people. Thereby, the 6 area council, which are known for tourism attraction, cannot be neglected with the renewed hope initiative.
Whatever we do, whatever that you do, is for us to take it to another level with you, and that's why they were here, your people were here, and I said to them that as far as we are concerned, we are our own.
FCT Women Affairs and Permanent Secretary says the visit to other area councils to deliver the gesture of the First Lady on empowerment, training, distribution of food items, and meet the needs of those in the rural community is a continuous one. Hawagimba, NTA News.
And from governance now to health matters. Corporate bodies and governments at all levels are expected to develop policies in support of people with special needs, especially children with autism who need all the care and support. This is the advocacy by the EK Foundation for Autism in commemoration of the 2024 World Autism Day awareness. Hakimat Aliu brings us details.
Autism is a neurological and developmental disorder characterized by challenges with social skills, repetitive behaviors, and communication. This affects millions of individuals worldwide. According to experts, it is an often misunderstood condition by many. In Nigeria, very few organizations, one of which is the EK Foundation for Autism, provides care and support for those living with the condition.
Their IEPs to suit their individual learning styles and needs, as well as make sure to track their progress.
As the global community observes the 2024 World Autism Awareness Day, the advocacy is for improved policies and inclusivity, as a mother of an autistic child emphasizes.
With the meager salary we are collecting, it's not easy, if not that God is helping. The therapy, the learning materials and resources, Even their food, their diet is different.
We have lots of parents that are living in denial, even when you see that they have children that have needs. When you try to offer them counseling or suggestion to go and seek for help, they tend to live in denial. Some of them may tell me that it is spiritual.
Noting that the EK Foundation for Autism in Nigeria is dedicated to supporting individuals living with autism, the director maintains awareness remains key to changing the narrative.
Inclusivity within the autism community is not just a goal, it's a fundamental necessity. Every individual, regardless of neurodiversity, deserves equal opportunities, respect and support.
It is worthy to note that while autism has no known cause, therapy programs tailored to the unique needs of individuals with autism can provide them essential skills to lead an almost normal life. In Abuja, Hakimat Aliu, NTA News.
Now to security matters. Operatives of the FC Police Command, led by the Commissioner of Police, Beneth Igwe, have raided the hills and thick bushes surrounding the Zones A and B of Apo Resettlement and Environs. A statement signed by the Command's Public Relations Officer, Josephine Ade, indicates that the raid operation is to put in place some security measures in the area as it is perceived to be kidnappers' routes and criminal hideouts. It says the clearance operation involved burning of illegal structures and bushes surrounding the hills and proactive deployment of police operatives for surveillance patrol, as the entry and exit routes to the hills have been adequately manned. The statement quotes the Commissioner of Police reiterating that it is no longer business as usual, noting that criminals who intend to disrupt the peace being enjoyed by the residents of FCT will be met with decisive action from the police. It enjoined residents to be vigilant and take advantage of the police emergency lines to report suspicious activities. Commandant Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC FCT Olushola Odumosu says aside from the ongoing joint security operations, the command will be deploying personnel in the range of 5,000 for the Eid al-Fitr celebrations. This is as other agencies are also making special arrangements towards ensuring a hate-free celebration of the festivity. The security correspondent Onotu Yakubu brings us details.
Security agencies are of the firm warning to criminal elements in the territory with intents to disturb the peace of the nation's capital during the festivities that there will be no room for their business to thrive within the FCT space. As such, they hint that operational orders on security preparation for the Eid al-Fitr celebration are going to witness heavy presence of personnel through joint security team show of force to provide watertight security for residents. Beyond that, intelligence-driven policing in covert and overt operations, motorized patrol, raid of black spots, as well as stop and search will also be visibly utilized.
For the Eid al-Fitr, we have made adequate arrangement that is from the B-Ops area commanders to the divisional levels. This time around, all the tactical teams are going to be involved, even the EOD. So in case if there's any IED within the area, they can easily be detected so that they can easily be diffused and be destroyed.
With resident expectations high following the upscale of crimes such as kidnapping earlier in the year, Civil Defense Commandant Olushola Odumosu further hints that collaborative efforts between the agencies exist to ensure that criminals face the repercussions of their actions.
Of course, it is not far from the truth. We have a wonderful working relationship, working towards the same goal. The civil defense, the police, the DSS, the armed forces, and other security agencies within the FCT. We have a model that we follow, and of course, we share intelligence among ourselves. We meet time to time to deliberate on the security situation in FCT and how we can, ensure that there is peace and order, in FCT.
The agency is assured that operations have taken to task and will give troublemakers tough time, emphasizing the critical role of residents to achieve service delivery through provision of critical information. In Abuja, Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
And we are not done yet with security matters. The FCT Police Command have pledged to consistently collaborate with sister security agencies in order to enhance the safety of FCT residents to ensure a hitch-free Eid al-Fitr celebrations. Deputy Commissioner of Police Operations Isiaku Shao gave the assurance during the security check program called the Police on the Unity Station. Francisca Bile monitored the program and now reports.
Deputy Commissioner of Police Isiaku Sharo was responding to questions on security deployment in the FCT ahead of the Eid al-Fitr celebration and sundry security situation in the nation's capital. He noted that the Commissioner of Police Benneth Igwe has given a directive for all police officers to conduct an intensive stop and search exercise by 6 p.m. to raid the city of all forms of kidnapping and other illicit crimes.
Car racing and use of firework is banned, and wherever you want to use it, at least you must have to have the authority to do so. And the only authority to the organization that gives that authority is the National Security Advisor's Office. So nobody should use it, and anybody that uses it, at least will incur the wrath of the law.
Callers on the live program commended the security agencies for the proactiveness which led to the change in fortune of the security situation in the territory in recent times. DC Sharo advised residents to report timely and credible information to the police to aid them discharge their duties to the benefit of all. In Abuja, Francisca Bile, NTA News.
2 officers of the Federal Road Safety Corps FCT Command and a driver of Gulf 3 saloon car were involved in a ghastly motor accident Wednesday morning. Odiri Ogboru Arutiri was an eyewitness account. Says 2 officers involved in the accident were on routine patrol around the Central Business District. The officers were said to have intercepted a road traffic violator and were on their way to their office when the offender, who was on the wheel, allegedly swayed and hit the road barricade by a construction site, which led to the car somersaulting. The injured occupants were evacuated and taken to an unknown hospital. All efforts to locate them proved abortive.
Rush out to check what is happening. When I came here, I saw a person, the driver was lying on the ground, then the other road safety. Nothing happened to her, but she just hit body. But the other woman, she hit her leg and the leg was hooked inside the car. So they tried to remove. I think it take like 10 to 15 minutes before they remove the woman.
The driver, they struggle, so they don't cost now.
You're watching the news at 1 on NTA Channel 5, Abuja. Still to come after the break. Correspondent X-rays the significance of the last 10 days of Ramadan. These and more when we return. Do stay with us.
Good evening. Glad to have you join us.
Thanks for joining us on Weekly News Wrap.
Thank you very much for having me.
And it is on that note we welcome you to today's edition of the program.
I will celebrate creativity, lasting impressions.
There's no book stating that this is the role for men.
On the news.
On the news at 7.
The
Unity Station, NTA Channel 5, Abuja.
Would say have a lovely day.
You're welcome back. The atmosphere is already spiritually charged for Muslims who are in the last 10 days of this year's Ramadan fast. Now, the last lap of the Ramadan is believed to be the most important period in the lives of the faithful. Just as Abdullahi Ajia tells us more in this report.
It's been more than 3 weeks of religious obedience and obligation to an important commandment of Allah, that is, the observance of the Ramadan fast by the Muslim faithful. This period has been characterized by charity to the needy, love and improved spiritual moments for worshippers. Now, this year's Ramadan is in its last lap with a lot in stock for devotees who are enjoined to intensify acts of worship in order to benefit from what clerics describe as the best of bonanza, which include the encounter with the Nights of Majesty, where a worship of a night is equivalent to that of 1,000 months.
In the Quran mentioned Laylatul Qadr. In Surah Al-Qadr, Allah says, Inna anzalnahu fi Laylatul Qadr. We have revealed the Quran in the night of power. Laylatul Qadr khayrun min alf shahr. This night of power, the night of majesty, the night of decree, if you are lucky to witness that night, you are going to get the reward of somebody who has worshipped Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for 83 years, 4 months.
It's a great opportunity for all well-meaning Nigeria who meant well for the country to go into spiritual activities, praying, because any prayer done here, any petition, any supplication will be accepted, to pray for the peace in the country.
During this period, some Muslims go into spiritual confinement, known as itikaf, in the mosque for more intense acts of worship to gain Allah's benevolence. Being a period the Quran was revealed, recitation of the glorious Quran, glorification of Allah, and asking for forgiveness, among other spiritual soul-lifting prayers for individuals and the country, are expected of worshippers who are also.
Still talking religion, Christians blessed with diverse gifts, the Holy Bible admonishes are to harness the talent into propagating the gospel of Jesus Christ. This is the driving force for upcoming gospel artists Victoria Ibrahim Pam and her daughter at the launch of their maiden album titled I Was Glad at Kokin Gerki as Charity Zaka attended the launch.
We unveil this album in Jesus' name.
With smiles on their faces while relaxed in an atmosphere filled with joy, family, friends, and well-wishers gathered to honor the launch and dedication of the maiden album of Victoria Ibrahim Pam. I was glad.
I want to say that as they go further in the faith, may they stand firm no matter the situation, no matter the storm.
He appoints some, the pastor, he appoints some, the evangelist, and he also makes some to be the gospel music artists. And if you cannot be part of any one of them, then be part of the supporting so that the kingdom can advance.
A dedicated mother and wife, the melodious gospel artist believes that in the future, the project will place and inspire many individuals to God.
So there was always this gladness when I'm always in the presence of God. So it led me to this. I decided to bring it out for people to know that yes, truly, when you are in the presence of God, you will always be glad, you will always be happy, you will always rejoice.
I pray that the music will touch the lives of others and will win souls for Christ through this gospel music.
God is the one that gives talent. So if God gives you a talent to sing, and if God calls you into this ministry, just look up to Him, call upon Him, depend on Him, and He will give you all that requires.
The 8-track album, which has a combination of different genre of songs, is an expression of how happy the gospel musician is about what God has done in her life through Jesus Christ. Charity Zaka, NTA News.
Let's now join our sports desk for sports news.
Aruna Kadri has accused world table tennis of racism after 2 rankings and monetary penalties in 2 months. In an outpour of emotions in a statement on his Facebook page on Tuesday, the 35-year-old said he was penalized by the body for not participating in the World Championships and the WTT Championship in Korea. He expressed displeasure about the punitive measures despite informing the world body of his poor health and involvement in club activities at the time both tournaments were held in the Asian country. As a result, the Fakel Gazprom Orenburg player dropped to 19 in the world ranking and from number 1 to number 2 in Africa in March. He said, "My first sin is because I was sick with chronic diarrhea. I was not able to participate in the World Championships in Korea and I could not get a doctor's report on time while in sickbed. My appeal was rejected because I am black and I am from Africa and Nigeria. My second sin is because I decided to represent my club that are paying my salary and I could not participate in the World Table Tennis Championship in Korea." Meanwhile, Nigerian heavyweight boxer Efe Ajagba is gearing up to defend his World Boxing Championship silver title against Italian challenger Guido Vernello. The bout is scheduled to take place on Saturday, April 13th at the American Bank Center in Corpus Christi, Texas. Ajagba, boasting a record of 19 wins and 11 losses with 14 knockouts, hails from Ughelli Delta State, Nigeria, and currently resides in Stafford. The 29-year-old Italian is determined to make a statement against Ajagba. Vernello sees a victory over Ajagba as a pathway to facing top contenders in the heavyweight division. With sports brief, Wayne Dugu, NTA News.
That's the news at 1. We have more bulletin at 7. For now, to enjoy the rest of our program. Good afternoon.
Revealed. The spiritual are respected of worshippers who are also seeking Allah's emancipation from hellfire. It is the vision of Allah and asking for forgiveness, among other spiritual soul-lifting prayers for individuals and the country, are respected of worshippers who are also seeking Allah's emancipation from hellfire. In Abuja, Abdullah